and thanks for staying with us. Customs continue to improve on government-approved policies operating at the nation's seaport. Also on customs report, more command in the country sees consignment for smugglers operating along the nation's borderline. Plus, more report. I am Igiseme Itije. Stay tuned. The management of Nigerian Customs Service has continued to implement government policies that have been generating a lot of revenue for the country. The Siege of Customs also said that the Nigerian Customs Service will also make sure that all things brought into the country will have proper check by all customs commissions in the country.
The Comptroller General of Customs, CDC, Adewale Adeniyi, has declared intelligence the lifeblood of modern customs operations, charging officers of the Customs Intelligence Unit, CIU, of the Nigerian Customs Service to make timely, credible, and actionable intelligence the core of their professional practice. Speaking on Monday, 5 January 2026, at the Nigeria Customs Command and Staff College, NCCSC, Gwagalada, during the opening ceremony of a CIU training program, Adeniyi warned that no contemporary security or revenue system can function effectively without well-coordinated intelligence. Describing the program as the service's first formal engagement of the year, the CGC said it marked a defining moment capable of reshaping the professional mindsets and operational effectiveness of participating officers. He urged them to approach the training with a renewed sense of purpose, noting that the new year presents an opportunity to make measurable contributions to national security and economic stability.
So the American invasion of Venezuela, but that's a very, thank you very much, that's a very nice way of putting a situation that not only involve invasion through foot on the ground, but taking the president of a country with a wife and taking them out of the country and taking them to court in the US. I think you are right. But then let's leave America, let's come closer home. You have also been opportune to experience some modern developments that has never been heard of in Nigeria. Less than a month ago, just a matter of weeks, we also had a special squad from the US taking off from some locations, the AFRICOM Command in Ghana, and then they came with some targeted attack of some locations in Northwest Africa, in Northwestern Nigeria. But let's even bring it further home. Sometimes last year, early last year, Nigeria Customs Service, in a coordinated operation, intercepted a container fully loaded with arms and ammunition in Onne. Now, these three developments are not related, but one common feature of all of these three, and I must say very successful operation, is intelligence. These operations are intelligence-led. I'm sure if you do not know anything about the American invasions, you must have heard at least something about how the Onne operation and possibly some other related operations like that were conducted. So what this means to us is that in any military or paramilitary environment, intelligence is at the core, is at the heart of our operation. They are very, very central, and I will encourage you to take a second look at the paper, the address that was provided by your controller. It stated just about everything that you need to know and that you need to do. So I will not congratulate those of you that have been selected. I only welcome you to this new chapter in your career. For so many of you, this is not the first attempt you have made to join CIU. You possibly have made attempts in the past and it has not worked out. Now you have found yourself in CIU. So many of you, you have lobbied, and I stand here to acknowledge the fact that several lobbyists have come to me on your behalf. You are used to doing intelligence work in the traditional way. There are traditional sources where you source your intelligence. Basically, you make use of informants. But you now know that this has gone with the past, because you know when you start your course, they are going to be telling you about the limitation of relying exclusively on informants. The environments in which we live now have thrown up so many other resources through which we can generate our intelligence. There is data from trade, just trade data that you can see and you can analyze. So analysis of trade data throws a lot of intelligence for you that can, lead to actionable intelligence that Nigeria Customs Service can pursue and make some impact. There is business intelligence. Of course, there are lots of open source on the internet, in the newspapers, in the websites, where you can get intelligence about what is happening in the world of trade. I just talked about news, major news item that is evolving. You'll get to learn a lot through these places. Nigeria Customs Service has set up a Geospatial Intelligence Unit. I'm very sure that some of you may have heard about it. It used to be domiciled in ICT. Now we've moved it to enforcement. And you also get a lot of intelligence because that is a fusion center that takes a lot of information from different sources and then they put them together to generate intelligence. Of course, you know that we are also setting up a laboratory. Through the laboratory, you are going to be getting a lot of intelligence about classification. But in specific terms, we also know that the WCO at different times, they also meet through their classification committee, and they consider issues, they consider tariff disputes across, and they take decisions, and this form some forms of intelligence. I therefore sympathize with those of you who are coming to CIU thinking that it will just be the same CIU that you used to know. Things have changed, and you now have to learn to move with modern times. It is already obvious that there might be a dissonance. There could be a difference between our motivations. The motivation that is bringing you to CIU may not be the same as the one that your controller has, because I have given your controller a charge. And it is important that during this period, there must be an alignment. And if there is no alignment between our motivations, if there is no alignment between our interests, the CIU will not be a place for you. So let me start by giving you some specific charges. The first is that you must realize, just like your controller has said, the intelligence function is no longer a support function. Most of the things that we are going to be doing are going to be intelligence-led. They are going to be intelligence-driven. So you must have that at the core of your mind. It does not necessarily put you on top of the commands or the unit where you are serving. It does not necessarily make you their boss. It does not necessarily mean that you are going to feel in any way superior, either to your colleagues in the field or to the controllers that are going to be serving. It is about complementarity. It's about alignment of interests. It's about knowing that the intelligence that you supply to them will help them in the achievement of their purpose. If you have lobbied to be in CIU, I need you to know today that that should be the end of your lobbying. Don't come and lobby me for your posting or your deployment. I can readily assure you here that if you do so, that will be the end of your career in CIU. Don't go and lobby your controllers. And don't lobby anybody. We have enough to determine what is best and where is best for you. And I hope this is very clear. There should be no form of pressure on the system. There should be no form of pressure on the CG. You are going to be undergoing lectures, situations, environments that will tell us where you are best suited to serve. We will have the opportunity to assess your capacity and your suitability in the next few days when you are going to be here. I whispered something to the ears of the controller that you are 450 or thereabouts. And because for institutional memory, we also said we should retain some small percentage of those who are there before, the rest through competitive exams. I am not convinced that we need up to 450 in CIU. I am not convinced. You are supposed to be an elite force. You are supposed to be the best amongst the best. You are supposed to be a reflection of the Latin expression, hoc optimum aut nihil. It's either the best or nothing. So if you do not show us that you belong to the best during this training, then there is no point retaining you here. So if during the training we see that you do not show capacity to learn, there will be no place for you. If we see that there is nothing for us to trust you, there's no point keeping you. Or if there are question marks about your loyalty to the service or to the nation, in fact, we will quickly show you the way out. Number two, your predecessors, those who are here before you, have shown how we can take the best out of CIU beyond just wearing dark goggles or wearing trended suits. You are an integral part of a modern customs administration, and the standard set is already very, very high. You cannot afford to bring that standard low. The tools that have been put in your favor, at your pleasure, at your disposal, are still there. So, as the service advances to a more intelligence-driven organization, you would be required to embrace more use of technology in the days ahead. Talking about your public appearances, CIU is not a place for you to exhibit flamboyant dressing. It's not a place for you to wear designers. It is also not for you to dress as a pauper. I do know that there are some assignments that might require you to put up some kind of appearances, which is already known to the intelligence community, which is understood. But CIU operatives are not supposed to be heard. They are hardly seen. It is when their impact comes that we know that they exist. So don't throw up your appearance and don't blow up your cover through dresses that attract attentions, through conduct that compels attention of people. Oh, you see Justice dressing or addressing and say, you must be a CIU officer. You have blown your cover. It is best when you operate incognito, mix with the crowd, pick up all your information, develop them into intelligence, and make your reports. That is the hallmark of an effective intelligence officer. You are to take your training very, very seriously throughout this period. Your training is important. Of course, you know that your training is very, very important. Your training instructors have been carefully assembled in such a way that they will impart all the knowledge that you need, and they will bring out the best out of you in such a way that we also know how to deploy you in the final analysis at the end of the training.
You are watching the program Customs Report.
The Nigerian Customs Service, NCS, in collaboration with the World Customs Organization, WCO, and the World Bank Group, WBG, on Monday, 19th January 2026, commenced the WCO Accelerate Trade Facilitation Program as part of ongoing efforts to strengthen trade facilitation, enhance compliance, and deepen customs modernization in Nigeria. The program is designed to review previously agreed objectives and confirm the strategic approach for implementing key reform initiatives, particularly in the area of post-clearance audits, PCA. The mission provides a platform for assessing progress made so far while identifying practical steps for improving efficiency, transparency, and risk-based compliance management across customs operations. Speaking at the opening session, the Deputy Comptroller General of Customs, Kikelomo Adeola, who represented the Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, emphasized that post-clearance audit remains a critical pillar of modern customs administration. She noted that an effective PCA framework supports informed risk management, strengthens voluntary compliance, and facilitates legitimate trade without compromising revenue assurance.
The Nigerian Customs Command all over the country has also continued to implement all policies that make sure that all government-approved agencies knows what to do when things come into the country. The command also said all agencies in the port, airport, and border posts will continue to implement all policies so far approved by the government to make sure that things work effectively in the country.
Our key focus areas would include, among others, A. Enhanced enforcement operations. We shall intensify intelligence-driven operations to combat smuggling and all forms of illicit trade that threaten national security and economic growth. B. Professional conduct and discipline. High standards of ethics, discipline, and integrity. Also, accountability will remain non-negotiable. Every officer must ensure that their actions reflect the core values of the service. C. Stakeholder collaboration. We will deepen collaboration with sister agencies, community leaders, and the trading public to strengthen border security and facilitate lawful trade. D. Capacity building and welfare. The motivation and welfare of officers will be prioritized to ensure improved efficiency and operational readiness. My doors will remain open to the officers and men of the unit. I encourage teamwork, constructive ideas, and transparency in all dealings. Together, we shall continue to strengthen the reputation of the Federal Operational Unit Zone A as a formidable enforcement unit and a dependable protector of Nigeria's socio-economic interests. To our strategic partners, stakeholders, and the trading public, I shall ensure that justice, equity, and fairness guide our actions at all times. Our operations will be underpinned on three cardinal objectives. A, change management. B, compliance management. C, reputational management. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I call on everyone to join hands with me as we commence this new chapter. With unity of purpose, dedication, and the fear of God, we will excel beyond expectations. In addition, to our partners in the media, we recognize your important role as allies in public information and national development. We shall continue to engage with you responsibly and professionally to ensure accurate and timely dissemination of information that reflects our core mandate. Once again, I appreciate the outgoing Comptroller, the ACG Sir, for a smooth transition and exceptional stewardship that has paid off. We wish him continued success in his future responsibilities.
The Federal Operations Unit FOU Zone A of the Nigerian Customs Service has recorded a significant victory in upholding commitments under the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. According to a press statement signed by the Command's Public Relations Officer, Chief Superintendent of Customs CSC Hussein, the operatives intercepted 4 live pangolins during a targeted patrol along the Agility axis of Ogun State. The release stated that at approximately 18:33 hours on Thursday, January 15, 2026, a patrol team acting on credible intelligence stopped a wooden boat laden with the pangolins in wire mesh cages along the waterways of Alakpa Creek, Agility. The caged animals indicated a deliberate smuggling syndicate. Upon spotting the officers, the suspects fled into the creeks, abandoning both the pangolins and the boats. The Kebbi Area Command of the Nigerian Customs Service convened its first parade of 2026, emphasizing discipline, integrity, and professionalism among officers. The event included a comprehensive health screening, underscoring the command's commitment to personnel well-being. Comptroller Ibrahim paid tribute to fallen colleagues and urged officers to embody loyalty, vigilance, and excellence. He emphasized the 7 C's of the Nigerian Customs Service: courtesy, clear questions, careful examination, clean hands, command attention, control situations, and consult colleagues. The command prioritized health checks, recognizing that a healthy force is a strong force. Comptroller Ibrahim noted that officers are ambassadors of the NCS and their conduct reflects on the service's reputation. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has commended the Comptroller General of Customs, CGC Adewale Adeniyi MFR, on the occasion of his birthday, describing his tenure as one marked by impactful reforms and sustained institutional transformation. In a statement issued on Sunday, 18th January 2026, and signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the President congratulated the CGC on the milestone, noting that it reflects decades of dedicated service to the nation and the reform-driven leadership that has repositioned the Nigerian Customs Service. According to the statement, President Tinubu acknowledged that under CGC Adeniyi's leadership, the NCS has continued its transition into a globally competitive and relevant customs administration. A progress, he said, was further underscored by the Comptroller General's election as chairman of the World Customs Organization WCO Council in June 2025.
Just before I end up this week edition of the program Customs Sport, we bring you a report where the Nigerian Customs Service has continued to implement all policies as approved by government. For me, Igeseme Engineer, thanks for watching.